This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Our goal with our videos is to empower you to be able to do the repairs on your own and save a whole lot of money and also get that great feeling of having fixed it by yourself.
So this model keeps having a leak. Shows up in the lower left-hand corner. Get some water in this area, and probably maybe a cup or two per load. So it's probably coming from near the dispenser here. So a little seal in there that might need to be cleaned or replaced. So to get to it, we're going to just take this bellows free and push it in to give us a little room to work. There's a plastic piece here that brings water from here to here, and the seal where that connects might be leaking a little bit. We're going to take a look. So we just got to get the seal off. I'm just going to pry in here with a standard head screwdriver. Get this spring clamp to come toward us. And get this off. And take the bellows, disconnect it here. Get it off of this plastic piece here. Push this in. That's going to give us a little more room to kind of see what's going on. But I think it's probably, the leak is probably coming from up in here where this guy connects. See if we see any forensic evidence of that. We're going to just clean that seal, so I'm going to wiggle this thing toward me until it comes off. There's the black seal. I'm going to take that off and clean it. And clean the inside of this. Also, sometimes these trays will develop a hairline crack. You can replace this piece, but we're going to look at the seal first because this is a likely culprit. You're going to wiggle it off, and then we'll clean it up really good. So notice the orientation, how that goes in. Alright, let's go clean these up. I'm just going to get this really clean of any soap residue. It's nice, clean, dry plastic. Using some hot water. Same with this one. All right. Get that nice and dry. So I'm going to clean this one off too, the outside aspect. And this doesn't really have a clamp that bears down on it to get it really tight. So it's all based on that rubber seal. And rubber just degrades over time. Gets a little crack. The one I took off still feels supple. But if cleaning it doesn't correct it, and I still have a leak, it's not that bad of a leak, but it's a little bit of a leak, and I'll just put a new seal on. Alright, so this is going to slip back on over the outside. Get it flush with the surface there. Put the chute back on. Come up at an angle. All right. So I'm going to push from the back of it, this hand, make sure it's pushed in as far as it'll go, kind of wiggle it. All right, it seems to be in there tight. So to put this part on, you could put a little liquid detergent in here to make this a little more slippery. Put that over. We want to get this in as far as we can so that the plastic chute kind of sticks out over here. Just to make sure that the water's not going to dribble in on the boot. Okay, it feels pretty good. All right. I'm going to feed this back on. So this one, you just kind of use your thumb to push in as you feed it around. Other places, though, that can be a very common source of a leak is a little puncture down in here, or a rip in the boot. Can also cause water to show up down here. And another very common place you can have a leak is you can have a bunch of like dog fur or hair or soap scum here. If you clean it really good, then the glass makes better contact with the rubber seal here, and you don't get like this dribble that comes down here that can create a bunch of water here. So that's more common. We already had checked on all those things, so I'm going to keep that ring off, do a test first, and then I'll put the ring back on. So shut that, power it up, normal cycle, give it a leak test. You can kind of look for forensic evidence too of where leaks are. You can see like there's a little rust spot there, it's a wet spot there where water had accumulated, wet in here. You can see on this aspect there's definitely some water. Back in. I think that's actually our leak right there. So we look up in there where the seal is, there's no water. But that one, there is. See if I can use some of this rubber to patch that leak. So I'm going to cut out a little section and use some contact cement. a nice little section. Could use like an old inner tube or a air mattress repair kit. I'm going to put a patch on there, see if I can clean it a little bit better. There's the area right there, so I can get it dry first. Just going to wipe off anything that could be creating a slick surface. Spray a little bit of the cleaner on there, just electrical cleaner. That helps to get rid of any residue. I'm using some contact cement. I'm going to put a little bit on this surface first. Let it get tacky. Seal that one up. Spread it around. I'm going to go beyond where the patch is going to go. Just to have a little extra. Alright, cool. I'm going to put some on the patch. We'll let that dry for about 5 to 8 minutes, so it's kind of tacky when you touch it. I'll glue it on. And it's pretty good. It's one of the best ways to bind when you go rubber to rubber like that. So that little rip is, let's see. Yeah, it's tacky now, that's good. So we have our patch piece. I'm going to hold that on for a little bit, get it nice and tight, and we'll reassemble. Goal is just to cover up that spot best we can. Alright, push in that patch piece and hold it down tight. I'm not sure how long a patch like that would last, and it could mean that the boot is getting near the end of its service life. Maybe that's why it had a little tear. So it just may allow for maybe a few more months before the boot has to be replaced. I'm putting pressure from both sides of it. I'm going to hold it for about 5 minutes would be great. And then I wouldn't want to use this yet for maybe 4 or 5 hours to let it really cure. I'm going to push this way in, as far as it'll go in. Try to get the spout to stick in here. Okay, that's pretty good. Put this back on. The lip over there. Okay, that's on really good. And then we're going to put some liquid detergent on this one to make it slipperier. to make it easier to reinstall. Dip my fingers in there and then put this all the way around, nice and lubricated. And that makes a big difference. So we start at the 12 o'clock position here. Use the thumbs to push it down. We're going to get the spring down at the bottom at 6 o'clock. Now I'm going to get my thumbs in here and I'm going to push down and out. Push this over at 6 o'clock, and that's it. Sometimes it's harder to do, but on the Duet and Whirlpool models, pretty easy. It goes right back. We're just going to let that all dry for about 4 or 5 hours. Reinstall this panel. Whenever you take off that panel and you're going to fix something and then you want to test it, you have to make sure the panel gets back on for the test, because this switch has to be closed, and that's closed by the panel pushing in on it. So this is going to go up and then in. Open this door, make it a little more room. Close the door. And we're going to add the screws on the bottom. These also are Torx screws. I think these are Torx 15. Put that one in. The other side.
Thanks so much for watching our video. We really appreciate your support. And when you get a chance, please press the subscribe button below so you can be subscribed, and also the notification bell so we can send you more videos about appliance repair. Please also give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. If you really liked the video and it really helped you, please press this new applaud button and you can show your support and also get a nice clapping hands for your video. Thanks again.